Hi there, I'm Nate, aka Gosei Green 1290, and by the time that this video goes out, I posted the full movie for the 1290 saga known as Gosei Solver 1290, or just the Solver Saga. And this is actually something that I kind of wanted to do for the 10th anniversary saga, but I never really went through with it. But this is essentially the creator's insight into how I basically made the Solver Saga. Now, if you haven't seen my Gamerverse review, I said that Murder was a huge inspiration for me and that I basically incorporated it into my next channel lore series. And I knew right from the start I wanted to lock in, as they say, to sort of make the channel saga the way that it is, because with the 10th anniversary stuff, as much as I tried to, keep things together, there was a sense of procrastination on that end. There is a lot of things I wish I really could have done better, and there are also some things that I kind of wish I left out or cut due to timing. But I was already behind as it was. Originally, it was supposed to last all year, but then I changed it to ending on August 21st, the channel birthday. But that's a whole other story for another day, basically. This is more or less talking about what I did for this saga, because everything's so nice and tight and neatly put together in one little bow. I think the major thing that I wanted to do exactly was to make the whole Green versus Sin fight something memorable, something that people could honestly, look at and say that, hey, I liked the way that this was done. So making this sort of like scenario happen was ultimately paramount. And some of the fight footage that I recorded with Sin specifically, that was filmed way back in late January, early February, as sort of like a rough draft of what I wanted to do for those specific scenes. And then the rest I sort of plotted out in my head, but at the same time, I didn't want these things to be noobish. So I looked to certain Murder Drones plushie YouTubers like Zach, MJ Studios, and Fun Trap, for example, because they actually do these things quite well. They had different unique styles to them, and I didn't want to mimic their styles, but I did want to take a few notes on how to properly do it, while also applying my own sense of how to do puppeteering from what I've learned from my acting classes. So the major difference that I wanted to basically have that was paramount for it was not show any bare skin when it comes to recording with the plushies. It's an old trick that I learned way back with old theater, that basically if you wear a black suit or anything black clothing related while you're puppeteering, like say a puppet or a model that's like colorful or anything like that, the attention won't be on the person in the back because they're more blended in with the background. Since it's a theater production, they're instead going to focus on what they're puppeteering, and I wanted to sort of focus on that. That's why I wore black long sleeves and black gloves to sort of encapsulate that that we know that it's a plushie, but they're doing all these things, but you don't really pay attention to that because you're more focused on what's on screen in front of you rather than what's behind them. Basically, what would happen would be is that I would be out of frame, but while still paying attention to the camera, basically, and just sort of puppeteer the way that I could with Sin here as like the sort of the basis for it. There also was an opportunity for me to do a lot of fun visual gags as well by using one of my gloved hands to sort of, do specific motions like holding up specific weapons and props, doing basic visual gags that you can't really do with Glitch Productions' plushies. Also, side note, I want to give a huge shout out to my friend Joshua for getting me Sin for Christmas, because every time when I see this thing at stores and GameStop, I get this kind of uneasy feeling because, like, I'm gonna be real with you guys, like, she's creepy, and not in a cute way, just, yeah. A couple things also that I kind of wanted to do for this saga specifically was to sort of, play more into my whole channel lore and everything, because longtime viewers who have been with me since like 2015, 2016, remember those older videos and wanted me to go back to them specifically. As much as like those older videos were sort of my starting ground, I don't look back fondly on those old videos, mostly because I was trying to copy what Channel Awesome was doing at the time or what other YouTubers were doing with little to no experience in this sort of field. So as I got older and gotten that acting degree you see on the wall over there, I sort of understand the more principles of it. I understood filming, four walls, emotions, and whatnot, how to portray certain characters, certain scenes, editing them all together to make something bigger. That was what the key goal was: make it better, but also make it more precise and everything. And playing a little bit with the channel lore as well was also something worth mentioning. It's not in the full version, but the whole Chronicler's Revenge audio drama that I did, those parts are sort of the bridge between gaps between the 10th anniversary saga and the Solver Saga, because it's sort of the in between. And if you don't remember my buddy Ryder's Power Rider 10 anniversary, the end credit scene for that film was me returning home, and then Yami would be there, and I asked, where the heck has he been? And I figured that'd be a perfect segue to make that audio drama and sort of play with the whole chronicler, the creator, so on and so forth. I felt like that was the perfect bridge to sort of connect everything together, while at the same time also giving ideas to the newer saga that was out at the time. One thing that kind of happened during all that was I wanted Dee Dee to sort of be the, like, the recurring character and sort of have her be, in the room and whatnot, have her have some form of dialogue, and then sort of show that she was glitching. And then the reveal was that Dee Dee was the one that sort of threw Yami away into a random dimension. She would be the one that would infect Gabumon, make him turn against me in the final battle. But something happened in between filming. What happened is that I was filming around with the spider bot without the batteries in it or anything like that, and I noticed that the back piece was becoming a bit loose. So I pried it open, and what happened was that I kind of broke. I broke the clips that sort of forced the thing down. So essentially, when I went to turn on the spider bot, it wouldn't operate because the front cover won't sit flush. And this is not a problem with mine. There are thousands of other spider bots out there being sold just by themselves without the front cover on. And that kind of sucks because this thing was like $80 when it first came out, and I was one of the people who bought it when it first came out. There are upgrade packs sold at Disneyland, but I haven't been to the parks in a while, so if I wanted to honestly, go to the parks and pick up an upgrade pack, it would have to be something that would like be customized randomly, because some of the ones that are being sold, like Captain America, Captain Marvel, so on and so forth, they are good. Well, they are good for like a toy aesthetic. For puppeteering wise, it's kind of just the same, basically, if that makes any sense. So another thing also that was important is that I didn't want this to get any form of slack. I wanted all of it to sort of come out just bam, 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 bam. And I remember asking my good friend Cam from We Are Tokusatsu, saying that, hey, can you find a Sin actress to play Sin? And if you're a fan of the second channel, my Living with Uzi plushie video, we had the wonderful Lavender Beak voice Uzi, and he told me that, saying, hey, that same person can provide audio for Sin. And there was a bit of a hiccup because there was a bit of a month, 2 months without any form of communication between me, the voice actor, and Cam, to a point where I kind of had to put out filler between the videos and everything. It was a little bit frustrating, but I am glad that we got it through, and he sent it all in all at once. So I basically hauled ass to try to re-upload everything and then sort of go up from there. And I have nothing but the highest praises for those two, because they basically made the saga. I don't know if I'm going to be using Lavender Beak at all. I mean, if they're open to be in like a skit or something that involves Sin, I'm more than happy to let them be a part of it if they're willing to. But as it stands right now, plans for me to do another saga or channel saga or anything like that are currently on the down low as it stands right now. I also want to thank my good buddy Ryder as well for taking part in this saga, as well as a sort of, connection between different story events, while also promoting his channel, because the call was going to be something that kind of was continuity, basically. That's basically what it was. I felt like that was felt like what he sent in was perfect. It was beautiful, and that's all I really need to say about it. One thing though that I really, really wish I could have done better was the prophet scene with the past incarnations of myself, or in this case, Gosei 1290. Mostly because when I took those pictures, I didn't really properly blend them in. So when I say that they look staticky, that was not only a joke to say that, oh, they're just static images. They legit do look static against all the filming conditions, all the lighting conditions and whatnot. Originally, the plan was for me to be sort of, stand sort of still with some form of iconography from the incarnations that were sort of based on each version of myself. Another plan was to incorporate Sentai rings based on specific fandoms and power-ups to sort of show that while I am a tokusatsu channel, I do have other interests in other fandoms and whatnot. And I did make a few art renders. You can see them on screen right now. But yeah, that plan ultimately did fall through because I would need to make physical props of those, and Sentai rings are hard to come by nowadays because prices have gone up on scalper sites. So yeah. Honestly, the Gosei Green #1 thing I didn't really think would turn out as good because the plan was for me to make an elaborate armor costume and whatnot, and then I saw that they were doing Ryotega sword modifications. But I figured, why not? Why do something so extravagant when it's only going to be on screen for a few minutes? So I figured the minimal, the better. So that's why you see me with the goggles, the purple biker gloves, and the sort of galaxy neck gaiter on my person, because I figured, okay, it's galaxy and everything, and I wanted to sort of, play into the fact that I do have other fandoms in mind. So that's why it looks like I'm a Digimon tamer first and foremost, because that's kind of the intent. That was kind of the goal at the end of the day. Honestly, picking the music as well for the final battle was also hard as well. I wanted to sort of shy away from using Persona music because, technically speaking, the 10th Anniversary Saga was more or less fighting myself and pursuing my true dreams and sort of breaking away from like the constant cycle of resetting timelines, so on and so forth, and becoming my own person. I felt like using the Persona music was the best way to do that, because if there's anything that involves yourself in any context, Persona music's the way to go. But I did end up reusing some Persona tracks, which is okay, I guess, but I just really wish I would have done more research into picking different music for that, because I feel like with different music tracks and everything from different fandoms, you would get like a different result, which is a bit weird. I do know that I really wanted Vibes by Vibes to be in the final battle, so to speak. Basically, Vibes by Vibes is definitely the song when it comes to the Ryotega sword. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But yeah, basically what I did was that I basically just sort of took the beginning song where they shout Vibes by Vibes, and then right after that moment, I would put in the instrumental version, because that sound effect is not included. That voice clip is not included throughout the rest of the song. So I basically sort of had to very carefully blend those two audio tracks together. Honestly, if I had to pick a second contender, it would be What's Your Fire at the very least, because What's Your Fire is honestly a pretty good soundtrack as well. One character, though, that I really feel like I could have costume designed a little bit better, though, was the stranger from the Dawn Brothers Parable trailer, because while that character is going to be important to the next storyline, even though that storylines are going to be taking a back seat for a little bit, I wish I could have portrayed them a little bit better, because having on a suit jacket with a tie and a button-up shirt doesn't really make much sense in the grand context of things. I was kind of trying to go for like this mysterious kind of like figure that knows what they're doing but also is mysterious to a degree. I was trying to go for that Doctor Who kind of aesthetic, but at the same time, I felt like at the end of the day, I felt like it was kind of over designed and whatnot. So that's something I kind of wish I did better, but then after posting it, I realized it. So no harm, no foul, I guess, but I'll have to redo that whole entire costume the next time that comes around. And speaking of characters and things I wish I could have done better, the original plan was for the Another to sort of make a physical appearance and then appear as Queen Tegajion, but I realized that the white undershirts that I used for the another costume that I did way back with the 10th anniversary saga. I remember I donated those clothes and I couldn't find the clothes that were sort of, blank in the chest and whatnot. So basically I decided to do a workaround and then just have Queen Taegajun in that moment to sort of, fight against sin, but also give more into the whole puppeteering idea, because I kind of wanted to do that to have that be more or less of the give off the idea that while these two figures are very small, they do have a big, like, presence, so to speak. And of course, if it isn't already outwardly stated, I primarily wrote the another to sort of be this non-binary idea, like creation, so to speak. So if you want some inclusion, there you go. I'm officially woke, even though that I'm asexual. Even though there were minor headaches like technical issues and trying my best to make this look professional as possible, the biggest pain in the ass when it comes to filming the Solver Saga was the end credits. Yeah, I know, it comes a bit of a shock. With all of the editing tricks and tips that I did, no matter what kind of styles of filmings that I chose for this saga specifically, the end credits was the one thing that kept stumping me. Because part of me wanted to use stock footage. Part of me wanted to film new footage. Part of me just wanted to use simple black screen with basic stock imagery. And I don't think I had more retries, more rewrites on specific credits that were in there, more than doing the end credits for this saga. But that's just me at the end of the day. So overall, there were a few hiccups with the Solver Saga, and even though that there were some delays here and there, I'm honestly impressed with what I could come up with for this saga, and I'm glad that all of you have enjoyed the Solver Saga to a degree, and I'm happy that everyone got to participate in it, no matter who you were or what was going on at the time. I do appreciate everyone's kind words and comments strictly for this for the saga as well, and I do appreciate everybody watching the videos and supporting the channel throughout the last few years of Gosei Green 1290 itself. Like I've stated before earlier, lore-based content, or in this case saga-based content, is going to be officially on the down low, because I just wanted to do one last run because I had more creative juices flowing and I kind of wanted to do one more, make it real quick and simple and easy, and I feel like I accomplished that and more with the Solver Saga. That's not to say, though, that I won't do more, like, skits involving my channel characters and anything like that, because like I said, I probably will ask Lavender Beak to voice Sin again in the near future if they're up for it. But for now, though, I am impressed with the finished product, and I'm glad that all of you could enjoy it just as much as I've had making it, editing it, and filming it and whatnot. And with all that being said, this has been Gosei Green 90 signing out and reminding you to stay safe. I'll see you guys next time.